All right, let's talk a little bit about making a graphic organizer using Google Slides. It's pretty simple, kind of similar to how you would actually do it in Google Drawing. Has a lot of the same characteristics, but this might be one that if you wanted to use a graphic organizer inside of a slide presentation and use some of the links that are available in there. So on this particular one, all right, what we've just started out with, we're getting ready to pick a theme. You might as well go with something pretty basic when you first start out. This way that you can actually make modifications to anything you want. So right here is just the simple light, which is the one that we're on. And I've actually chosen this particular one here to have a layout that is actually blank. Therefore, we don't have anything on it that would possibly get in our way. So having this, I'm going to close the themes out a little bit so you can actually see more. Our background, all right, we can actually come in here and choose what color background we want. You can actually also go with a gradient background as well. You can also use an image if you wanted to. So as we go through this, what you'll see is that the images and stuff are basically pretty much the same. First off, we're actually going to click on our shapes. In the shapes, we have the same shapes that you would see in Google Drawing as well. So why don't we actually just go ahead and pick one of them to start working something out here. We'll go with a common shape, which is a rounded off rectangle. Now under this one, as you can see, nothing much to it. On here you can actually click the filler color. You can go transparent if you wish. All right. This one we're going to pick with yellow. If you double click on it, you're able to actually type inside of it. We'll call this object 1. Now if you wanted to, as you click on it, you get these handlebars on them, and if you click on one, you can see that you can actually drag. If you hold the shift key, it will drag in proportion so that it stays roughly the same size. Also, if you have text on the inside, you can actually choose whether the text has a different sort of alignment. If you have planning on having a lot in there, I would try to probably pick something with left alignment and something that goes towards the top. Of course, you also have spacing that you can do with inside these. You can also do your number bulleting, all right, and you can also do your bulleted lists, as well as other options of increasing and decreasing indent and moving around the paragraphs and other format options as well. For the most part though, when you click on this, a lot of times you're actually going to just pick something, whether it's going to be changing things to bold or italicized, underline. You can change the color of the text that's actually inside it. If you wanted to, you could go for a highlight, but if you've already picked a background that has a color to it, you want to be careful about your highlight because they interact with one another. So sometimes, a certain color option may not be the one that you're going for. Now with this, you can have other objects in it as well. All right. No matter what the particular object shapes actually are. Here I'm putting in a circle. As you can see, when I was bringing that circle in and stretching it, you see the blue lines that actually show up. Those actually tell me that these two objects are of the same height. If I were to actually grab it and stretch it, eventually the blue lines will show up again when they're the same width. This allows you to actually recreate similar shapes in it to make things more visually appealing. If I wanted to make multiple ones of the same shape, I would highlight it and hit Control D. Control D actually copies and pastes, all right, in a form called duplicate. You can move the objects around and find alignment within objects. You can see these red lines that appear. The one tells me that I'm in alignment with my first object from center line to center line, and the horizontal red line tells me that I am in the middle of this actual page. So you can actually move these ones all around, and it's nice because it allows you to actually keep everything lined up with one another so that when you start connecting things, they make a little bit more sense and you can keep things, well, organized. On this, if I were to change, let's see, change the colors up a little bit just for fun. I'll go with the green one on here. You can also change the line type that's on the actual object itself. You can change those colors. You can actually move the sizes up if you wanted to. Of course, depending on your background, you're going to want to be careful about what colors you do actually end up choosing. Because you can see, yellow doesn't show up very well up against a yellow background. It works a little bit better if you actually have a thicker border with it, such as on this one. But you could also actually just change the entire background itself on this by click change background, go for a different color, and let's pick something on the gradient side, and done. As you can see there, gives you a little bit more of a visually appealing background, and allows you to bring the colors inside your objects forward a little bit. If I was going to actually use the connectors, all I have to do is click up here where it says connectors, and you can see I got a curved connector currently selected. Pick one of the blue dot or purple dots as you hover over it, and you're going to connect to one of the purple dots on one of the other objects. All you have to do is click and drag towards the object that you're after. And now that I have this one selected, I just let it go, and it's made my connection. Now at this point, I can go in and actually grab a hold of the diamond that's in here, and I can change what the shape actually looks like. As you can see, as I pull it away, I can do other things with it, and all I have to do is actually just bring it back and slide it over to one of those purple dots, let go, and things are fine again. These also can actually be changed in a number of ways. You can change the color of the lines, such as this. We'll change this one to a blue, change the thickness up to a 4. We can also change it so that it's a dotted line. I can also make the arrows on it going in one direction. I can make them actually go in 2 directions. You can also make the actual physical link itself here into a link to a web page, or you can actually also connect it to a page in the actual presentation itself. Say that you were trying to display some more information about how these 2 particular objects are linked. You could actually turn this into a link and take you to that page in the presentation and actually bring it right back to this. This actually works really well when you're doing something that has a nice flow chart with it, which these ones are able to actually do just like you would in any other one. I've selected all these right now to go for a delete, just to show you what a flow chart might actually look, say that if you wanted to actually put one in place. So that if you had someone up here, let's just say that this is a manager, and you have ones underneath it, which we're going to go for a duplicate. Now this one here would most likely be an assistant manager. Alright, as you can see, it doesn't quite fit well in that box. No problem, highlight it, and we'll change the size of our text so that it fits. I'd like it to be centered though, and actually centered from top to bottom. That looks even better. Change this one up. We'll go with a center on this one. Now, how many assistant managers does this individual actually have? We're going to give him 3. All right, so we'll actually line these all up with one another. See that nice equal spacing, same line and everything. And we can take all of these together, and we can actually move them so that they're directly in line with the one above it, like this. That way we can actually take our connectors, and we'll do an elbow connector here with this one to that one. We'll also do another elbow connector from this one to this one. And while it is a straight line, I can actually still do an elbow connector from this one to this one. As you can see, it will still actually show up as a straight line. Now with this, you could actually flow down and say, oh, these are, all different types of things that actually come from it. And you can actually connect people from one to the other inside of a Google slide. Let's just say we'll add a slide over here. All right, and in this slide, we'll say that this is where Assistant Manager number 1 is at. And what things go with that, and we'll call this one, excuse me, number 1. All right, we have it like that. And back here, we'll say that this is number 1. Now what we can actually do with this particular box, all right, is to create a link in here, and inside the presentation, we'll go down and it's like, this is in slide 2, Assistant Manager number 1, and apply. Now we could have actually picked the text itself, or we can actually make it do its own link. As you can see, it's like we'd probably rather actually pick, let me see here, click the link under here, and how do we actually want it to actually show up? Apply. There we go. And now it's actually the box. So if we were in the presentation mode and we wanted to go to that Assistant Managers, it goes right back to it. And we could actually take this one and cause a link from here to take us back to the previous page. Lots of different things that you can actually do inside the Google Slides in order to make a presentation look high quality and have all those neat little graphic organizers available for you.